This is an update about our motorhome, our Swift Kon-Tiki 784. We had some problems with the heating. Now there is a previous video and I'll link that up here. There's a little update I've got for my video on the dashboard menu. So thank you to Mick Sparrow for this one. This is a bit of an update to my dashboard video, and I was saying on, if I go to trip B, I was saying that trip B resets every time you start the engine, which it will do if you've got a certain setting there. You've got trip A, which can record as long as you like, but trip B is possibly, I said it was one of the least useful things. It could actually be one of the most useful trip functions. If you go to vehicle setup and then to display, and on display you go to reset trip B, you can tell it when you want reset trip B to occur, either never or always. In other words, that's the one I've got it on when you start the engine, every 2 hours, presumably automatically, or probably better, every 8 hours. And with it set on every 8 hours, it will record a day's trip. So you could stop at the end of the day and have a look, see how far you've gone, even if you're filled up with fuel. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? So thanks, Mick. I'm booked in for a habitation service with Todds. So we bought this, it's almost incredible to think, we bought this 10 months ago now, and we're due for a habitation service in March. So I've booked it in with Todds for the habitation service. I'm going to take it to Walton Summit, the Fiat professional garage, for the vehicle service for a very good reason, is that there is an update for the gearbox. Fiat have been having problems with the 9-speed automatic that's fitted to this 2024 Fiat Ducato. It doesn't affect the 8-speed automatic gearbox, but the 9-speed automatic gearbox, and they have a software update. Now, unbelievably, really, it's an advisory update. I was sort of expecting them to contact us. You know, there is a recall. It's not a recall, it's an advisory update. So there have been reports of Fiat Ducatos blowing up their gearbox and having a huge expense of having those repaired. Now that could be a problem if you're out of warranty, obviously. So if you're still in warranty, or even if you're not still in warranty, it would be a really good idea to get this advisory update done if you've got the same model as we have. So it's a Fiat Ducato Series 9, ours is a 2024 model, and it's got the 9-speed automatic. The recall service action number is 6926. So if you quote that to your local Fiat professional garage, they'll know what it is and they can get it done. So I'm going to get that done as part of the vehicle service. I'm having a vehicle service after a year. Now, I know you're only supposed to have a vehicle service every 2 years. The problem with the Fiat Ducato now is there's only a 2-year warranty on it. So if you get to the end of 2 years and you have a vehicle service and you leave it too long, you're into possible problems with any warranty issues that you might have with the vehicle. So I wanted to get it serviced before that, before we notice any other issues with the vehicle itself. Not that we've had any problems with the vehicle itself, ironically. So thanks to Colin Swindell, who emailed me with that information. So thanks, Colin, that was really useful, and I thought I'd share it on here. Alde failed whilst we were in Yorkshire and we had to come home. We were planning a trip to Scotland, which we had to cancel, unfortunately. We took it into Todds the same day, and they had a go at fixing it. They couldn't fix it that day. We took it back on the following Saturday, and they've had it for a couple of days, and they've checked it over, and basically they've reconnected the 2 pipes that had fallen off, put some new clips on, put some new pipes on. They couldn't get it to go initially, couldn't get the Alde to start up, but they left it for a while, a good while, they said, reset everything, powered everything down, powered everything up, and lo and behold, it started working again. So it got into some sort of, I don't know, thermal shutdown or something like that. and it's now all working perfectly. I've got it on electric and gas to try and get it warmed up in here, and we're gradually warming up now. So I thought I'd update you on that. So all seems good with our heating now. We've got a trip planned towards the end of the month, going to the new Caravan and Motorhome Club site at Lickpenny. I just wanted to answer some of the questions that people had asked on the video. It's quite a popular video, and there were quite a few questions. A few people asked about Jubilee clips. Why don't they use Jubilee clips? Well, to be honest, I don't really know. The only thing I can think of is that these spring clips are easier to fit, probably quicker to install and easier to remove, and particularly if you're in confined spaces. It does prompt me to say that really, if you've got Alde Heating, it would be a good maintenance thing to do, to check the position of those clips to make sure they are properly secured around the pipes. You'll find them generally around the radiators in the Alde system, and make sure they are properly secured around the metal part of the pipe. And they should look a bit like this, and it, like I say, it might be worth just going round the van, or even asking your dealer to check it, to go around your van and make sure those pipes are secured. Now bear in mind there's about 20 of these pipes around the van, so you know it's a potential for failure. The other question, and I had the same question, is why didn't I get a low fluid alarm? Well, there's no such thing as a low fluid alarm on the Alde Heating, would you believe? It can easily run out of fluid. So again, it's a good thing perhaps to check before every journey that you've got enough fluid in the reservoir, particularly at this time of the day. There is an overheat alarm that comes up on the Alde, but I'd never got that. I never got any alarm when this happened. I just had to search around to find out what pipe had become disconnected and dumped all my fluid. It's not just Swift vans that are suffering from this either. You know, a lot of people going, oh, crappy old Swifts and all this sort of thing. It's not just Swift build quality, you know. It's happened, and various people have reported this. It happened to Baileys, it's happened to Coachman, and it's happened to Adria as well. So, you know, don't assume that just because you've got a different motorhome to us that you're not going to get the same problem. Another question was, why didn't we go and get some fan heaters? Well, to be honest, we wanted to get the problem fixed. We wanted to get it fixed as soon as possible. We didn't want any further delays. Didn't really honestly fancy going up to Scotland. It was minus something or other up there, and it was pretty cold. I'm not sure a couple of fan heaters would have kept us warm, and we certainly wouldn't have had any hot water. Which brings me on to another question, is could we not have had hot water but no heating? Or if the heating doesn't work, the hot water won't work. It will work the other way around. If you don't need water in the boiler to have the heating working, but if you've got no Alde fluid in your system, that Alde fluid circulates around the boiler and it heats the water. So you can't heat the water without the Alde fluid in the system. Something I didn't know is, apparently David Dawn mentioned this, is there is dog-friendly antifreeze that they use in America, polypropylene glycol in America, and that doesn't cause problems with dogs. It is very dangerous, the antifreeze we use here for dogs. So if you do have a leak, it's potentially fatal for dogs, and it's not particularly good for cats, as I understand, either. So yeah, watch out for that. Which brings me on to the other point, is none of the fluid got into any of our carpets. I think I did say that, but the fluid didn't get into the carpets, and it didn't get onto outside the cupboards, so we were lucky in that respect. And the dogs were in their crates when we discovered it anyway. Well, they were in their beds when we discovered it happening, so they're perfectly safe. But yeah, again, if you do have this leakage, just be careful with your dogs and don't leave any of the fluids lying about or dripping on the floor, because obviously it could harm wildlife as well. I wanted to thank Todds for their speedy response when we discovered the problem. I rang that same day. We stopped at a service station in Blackburn, gave them a ring, and they said, bring it over, we'll have a look. They had a look straight away. They filled it up, and that's obviously when they couldn't get it to start. But over the few days that they've kept it, they've checked it, they've checked all the pipes, they've gone around, checked the pipes, checked for damp as well, and got no damp in the vehicle. They've also put a P-clip. Now I was a bit concerned that the pipe goes from the bedroom into the kitchen under the shower, and it's a long pipe and it was moving about, so they put a P-clip in there to secure that pipe so it doesn't move about, which was probably the reason the pipes themselves came off. They probably worked loose because the clips weren't attached properly, and that obviously was probably the cause of the problem. So I think that's it. I hope you didn't mind me reading my notes. There's quite a bit to cover there. And thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. If you did, give us the old thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. We're doing really well on subscriber numbers now since Christmas, and very happy with that. So thanks for everyone who's subscribed, and I do hope you find our content useful, and we'll see you soon. Bye then.